Hello and welcome to the Apocalyptic Knitter podcast. I'm Naomi and I come to you from the UK in Leeds, West Yorkshire, where I live with my husband, my young son, and we do have a little guest with us today. So this is my little cat, has decided to join us. So, let's sort the camera out. So yeah, so that is Lego having a little snooze. Yeah. So it is Sunday, the 22nd of September. Very dreary, dull-looking day today. I just wanted to fly on very quickly to give a bit of an update on the Gansey. I feel quite overfaced with life at the moment. I think I've just got lots of things going on, but I'm all right. I will be okay. I finished my job on Tuesday, so my brain is thinking of all the million and one things that I need to get done for the handover, and then I've got a couple of weeks off. I'm also anxiously awaiting the results of my last assignment that I've been working on for the last year. It should have been published on Friday, but because of the operation, I got that extension, so I think that might be a bit of a delay with mine. But all the others in the cohort were like getting their scores, and I was like, but you know, I can wait. Can't it? Yeah. What else of it? Knee is doing all right. It's at this point now where I'll get to a point where I'll have days where I'm going, oh, it's not getting any better, or I need to, put the effort in and all that kind of thing. And then I get other days where I'm thinking, oh, it's felt, normal, like it's back to normal. And I've not noticed like the weakness. I do need to get up and do more exercise on it. But yeah, it feels a lot, but I just can't believe my luck, touch wood, this time. Other life news. I had a trip to London last week with work, just kind of stayed over one night to kind of get 2 days handover training in, and in the evening I caught up with my lovely friends. We had a nice meal, and it was just really nice to see, when you don't, it was like an unexpected meet up, so that was really nice. So yeah, we've got Yarndale coming up, and I'm all over the place at the minute. I've not even told you my socials. So it's Naomi Knits on Instagram, or it's Big Bird, so BIGG Big Bird on Ravelry, if you want to have a nosy at what I'm working on and what wools. I've not updated the stash in a couple of months on there, but I do link what wool I'm using on the projects, so if I don't always remember to say them on the thing, then there we go. So yes, I'll try not to be too scatty. Yarndale is coming up. So Yarndale is a fabulous fibre show that is based in Skipton in Yorkshire, so that's quite just on my doorstep really. Very excited. I'm going on the Sunday. Feel free to say hello if you see me. I'm 6 foot tall, but I'm very friendly, very approachable. So yeah, please say hello. And yeah, plans for Yarndale. I'm gonna say, I do tend to see the nice pretty skeins and get one, and then get home thinking, what are you going to do with all these single skeins? So I'm not going to say I'm definitely not going to buy it, because there will be something that catches my eye. And I know Gemma at Snuggly Star, she's working on a show special, so it'll be interesting to see what that one is. So I went and I looked at who was vending. I went to look on the website and the list. I had to look away because there's just so many. I thought, oh my goodness me. So yeah, getting a bit excited. So on my I say shopping list, but there's been two garments that I'm kind of on the lookout for, that if I see, I really want to make. So if I see a colour that I think will work well with it, so I've written it down. You'd be very proud of me. One is called the Amadeo Summer Sweater. So that's spelt Amedeeo, Amadeo, and it's by Joanna Gerish, Gehrisch. So I hope it's pronounced right. It's Gerish, and that is a 4-ply, and it's a raglan sweater. The front and the back is completely plain stockinette. It's got a nice, like a crew neck, but the sleeves are a beautiful lace pattern, almost like a chevron all the way down. So quite airy, and they're quite loose. And I just think that is really, really pretty. And I think because I think the sleeve islands will be quite enjoyable, because there's just something different about it, and then you'll see it growing. I could be wrong, but I saw it and I thought, oh. So, and another one which has, I think, been quite popular is the Whitmore Sweater by Amy Loudon. So I've seen it on a couple of podcasts, and so Tracy from Wool and Wishes, she did one with a 4-ply and like a floofy lace, like a mohair or Surrey alpaca, and it looks really nice. So again, it's quite a plain one, but just enough of a lace fanned out detail. But what I like with that, you can either do it as 4-ply and lace or DK. Because I've knit with 4-ply and lace and mohair before, and I can tolerate it when I'm knitting it, but I'm not great with the a bit of sensory issues, and I don't want to go to the trouble of making a jumper and I'm not going to enjoy wearing it. So I might go for the DK option. So I think Franny from Franny Do Makes, she made one. I think she made it in like an acrylic one, like drops or something, don't quote me, but it was this gorgeous red. And I thought that kind of appeals to me a bit more, because I think this year I've just done that much work in 4-ply, I say the Gansey and everything as well, and I think once that's out of the way, I feel like I'm knitting an awful lot of work and not getting very far, but that's what you get with the very fine needles. So I think I'll want that kind of satisfaction hit, so I might do something in DK. I've got my Radiate sweater on the needles. So anyway, shall we go in? And I'm rabbiting on. Talking about a 4-ply, I didn't show it last time because I've not done a huge amount of work on it yet, but this is my Radiate sweater so far. It's quite a good lighting actually. I'm not sure if it would be too dark. So the pattern on this one is, I'm using my minis. I've got this like a faded mini variegated set from Third Vault Yarns, DK, and then this magenta, which is gorgeous. Look at that. And I believe, I Can't remember the name of it. It's by Ripples Craft. And I want to say berry smoothie. Crushed berry smoothie, something like that. I'm so sorry. I'll put it in the notes. So, yeah. That has taken a little bit of a back burner. And I think when I get a bit of headspace next week or the week after, I will pick that up again. I've got, so last time I just cast on 2 pairs of socks, so I'll let you know how I'm going with that. I've been working on these this morning. Probably quite familiar with these. This is the West Yorkshire Spinner, and this is the Holly Berry colourway, I believe. Or is it just Holly? For the main, and then they've just got this red that works as a really good contrast. And I just turned the heel this morning. Yes, it's very long, it's a size 11. I do feel like I need a little trophy when you get to the heel bit. And I'm using the higher, and I believe these are 2.25 mil needles. And I always feel better once you got to the heel on one, when you cast that off and then you start on the other one, you know where you're going up to. Whereas like I kept wanting to measure it and remeasure it and see where I am, but when you have the second one, it's a bit easier, isn't it? So this was some stash. I think I had about 60 or 70 grams left of this and 50 or 60 of this, so I thought I can get another pair of socks out of those, so that will be very nice. Oh, excuse me, hiccuping. What a state I'm in today, sorry. And then we might have a little bit of a yarn explosion. Oh no, not too bad. It's that material that that really slippy, and it makes it slip apart a little bit. So look at that. Isn't that funny? And it really is funny, fun. You can see the gold thread. So this is King Cole. I think it's called Party. And this is a colourway called Grinch. And this is how it's knitting up. So it is like a striped, there is like a pattern to it, but it's not like your consistent, you know, striping, if that makes sense. So I quite like that. I can't always tell looking at the ball how it's going to be. So I'm doing quite a wide one on this one. I think I've cast on 40 each side because the recipient's got a really wide foot, but really happy with it. I think I'm not going to be too far off before I have to turn for the heel because they're a size 7. So that is my other one. I think I've done these on 2.5, these ones. These feel a little bit bigger than my higher sharps. And so that is living in my pencil bag. So another little grey girl bag, which I have had for absolute years. Possibly 5 years, maybe longer. So that's those two. And that's the jumper. Right, the moment you will be waiting for, the Gansey. So I have reached a bit of a landmark with it last night. So I get it into some kind of presentable. Right. So let's see where the cheese is. So my cheese stitch marker was where our last podcast. So I can move that. So this, oh gosh, it's far too big. Can I see if I can sit on the end here? Oh my gosh. So, it's really quite big on me, but that's okay. So, and this is the back. So I've knit right up until about 3 or 4 centimetres of the desired total length. And I started the front last night. So I then put the underarm gussets. Oh dear me, will you just behave? Come on. So those are the underarm gussets. I've now just put those on a bit of scrap yarn, and I'm doing the same on that side, and we're now working on the front to match. Now, I was very good and very organised, and I wrote in I've got in my little notepad, and I've put here, these are all row numbers, and up at the top, that was where I split. So I made a little note to myself, what was right side, what was wrong side, and I've done my little dashes going there, and then now that I'm doing the front, I'm giving them across, because that just helps me. So I'm up to row 56, and I need to get to row 154. Now, if you've been following the journey along all the way through, you'll notice that you might remember that when I got to the garter ridge, which was that bit here, that I was reading in the book, and it had that if you're having cables, like cabling in your yoke, which we've got 4 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, that, remember that I did that cable swatch, because it can kind of pull it in, and it can, what they call splay the fabric. Now I got to the top, and I did the up to the desired length, and I liked how it ended, because it ended it ended on the finish of a diamond on there, and it said in the pattern to decrease when you're finished, you know, where you increase where the cables were, and I've not done that. So I thought, if I do another 2 rows to kind of do the decrease, and then right side again, would it look weird if I'm starting another little bit of a diamond or what? So I thought, what I'm going to do for the moment is, because I thought I didn't want to just kind of like get to a point and not get stuck, but you know, you get that thought paralysis, don't you? And I thought, I don't really need to think about that just yet, because I've got the front to do. So I will give that a bit more thought when I've got my time off, have a bit of headspace. But no, really happy. And the recipient tried it on. I don't remember if I mentioned or not, and it fit really well, so I'm really happy. And they were really happy as well, which is great. And isn't that great? And do you know what? It's not a very thick fabric, As I say, it's literally just a bit more than, well, it's 5 ply, isn't it? But you know when like you're knitting a blanket and when it gets big enough it drapes on your lap when you're making it. It's at that point now, and it's so warm that I always gonna have to like drape it to the side so I don't hot flush. I've been looking and reading the book. So the book that I've been using, so I've designed the pattern of the yoke, but I've been using this book for like referencing and for schematics and things like that, and for the motif charts as well. So this is Knitting Ganseys by Beth Brown Rangsel, and I just bought this from Amazon. And there was a section there about the shoulder straps. Shoulder straps? No, sorry, saddle shoulder, where you do like a panel. And it was really good actually, because I thought, well, I was thinking in my head, oh, I'll need to work out how many to cast on, or I'll have to kind of go to a pattern and see what they've got in there. But in the chapter on it, it gives like the calculation, and also I won't kind of spoil it because it's obviously a paid for book, but it's all to do with however many you've cast on for your total body, you multiply by a certain percentage, and then that gets you the right like proportion. And so when I did that and I got my amount of stitches the width stitch that I need to cast on, I needed to find out what I could do with it, what pattern, what chart I could do with it, and I wanted to measure it, because the total length that I'm doing needs to be 77 centimetres, and at the moment I think it's about 73, 74. I might measure it again tonight just to make sure. And the saddle I think works out, I think it was about, hang on, let me measure it again here. I say measure it on here because the stitch count was about the same as one of the panels, and that was 6 centimetres, which is perfect for what I need, because if you think about it, it's going to be like 3 each side, isn't it? So I thought that's absolutely perfect. So I'm really happy, and that is the armhole depth there. And so I'll have a few more, so I don't think that's going to be A, too saggy, or B, too tight. So that is really, really good. I'm really happy with that. And yes, I literally swapped the cone, the first cone, last night. So I got to the top, you see that's where I've joined the yarn. So it got all the way around the body, and then did all the back with one cone. So I thought that was really, really good yardage. And now I'm using the balls that I wound up, which is a lot more easier. So it'll be interesting to see how much yardage is actually used. So I'm gonna move my cheese counter now and put that in the front. Stick that in. Where should I stick that? Stick that there. There we go. Ready for next time. So that's where we are, and yeah, I'm going to love you all and leave you because I need to crack on with some more little jobs. And yeah, I hope what you are working on is bringing you lots of joy and relaxation, and I hope to speak to you again soon. Right, bye for now.